Welcome back to Summit Sunrise Live here on TV8 Summit. I'm Shauna Henderson. I'm with Allison with Summit Real Estate, which is really cool. So Allison, thank you for joining me this morning.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Really excited. You're looking
Nice to be
beautiful,
here.
like I said. Still summer, I know.
I am holding out. It is still summer. I know it's raining and there's snow on the peaks, but I'm in denial.
We ignore that. We're all in denial. So tell us a little about how real estate, the market is doing here in Summit County. A lot of people are interested. Yeah. There's a lot of people in town. They're like, well, we're really thinking about it on the fence. So tell us a little bit.
Well, I always laugh because that's the main question that I always get. How's the market? And my sort of cheeky answer is, well, that depends. And it really does depend.
Cheeky.
And I always say, it depends what segment you're talking about. If you're talking about $1 million homes, it's one thing. If you're talking about condos under 250, it's completely another thing. And right now, I think everybody knows it's very much a seller's market. There's not very much inventory out there. The market as a whole in Summit County, there's really less than like 4 months of inventory, which means if everything stayed the way it was, it would take 4 months and everything would be gone.
Wow.
So it's really moving quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. And how do you really know that it is a seller's market? Yeah, because a lot of people sure understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who tells you?
Yeah, and funny, Shauna, because it's, yes, there's a bit of a gut feel, right?
Yeah.
Partly you just know, well, are the buyers happier or the sellers happier? That's sort of the basic way to start with it. But there is an actual formula that we look at, and I guess to make it sort of break it down. If there were, imagine in your neighborhood you had 12 houses that sold last year, like yours. And so that would be, one selling a month, right? And then imagine that there's 12 on the market right now. So what that would mean is that there's 12 months of inventory. If everything stayed the same, it would take, at the same rate, it would take 12 months for all of them to sell. So then you look at, okay, so we say if that would be, in that case, that'd be 12 months of inventory. Well, how do you know if it's a seller's or a buyer's market? A seller's market is going to be 1 to 5 months of inventory. A balanced market is going to be more like 6 to 7 months, and a buyer's market is 8+.
Oh, interesting.
And if it's 1 to 2 months, which in a lot of segments in Summit we have, it's a rapidly appreciating market.
Wow.
So it just, you got to kind of dial in a little bit and call your local realtor.
Yeah. Well, because you guys see this information all the time. You're very educated on what's happening, and that's why you really want to reach out to a realtor and say no.
Well, it's funny right now if you're a buyer, it can be a little challenging to find a place because when the good ones come on the market, they're snapped up by the people that have been looking a little bit longer. So you just really have to have your finger on the pulse of what that segment's doing, and so you can help the buyers go, okay, you got to be ready.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people probably have that question as like, well, is it better to buy or rent, or is it right now? Tell us a little about that.
Well, it's no secret in Summit County especially that rentals, especially long-term rentals, are just really difficult to come by. And I always say, hey, if you're paying a mortgage either way, whether you're buying or whether you're renting, and so why not pay your own mortgage?
Yeah.
Rather than your landlord's.
Right. Right. It makes a lot more sense,
and
right?
Then, and then especially first-time home buyers. We work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and they can struggle because the hardest thing, in Summit County, as we all know, is like coming up with that hunk of money that you think you need for down payment. Mm-hmm. They can afford the monthly payments because the interest rates are so stinking low right now that it makes it great. But it's hard to come up with that chunk. But there's a ton of really great down payment assistance programs that are out there. The Summit Housing Authority is one, but then there's also Colorado assistance programs. So I just helped some folks buy a place last week, and they ended up only bringing $2,000 to buy half a duplex.
Wow.
And I was even shocked. I called the lender and I said,
"What?
Wait
Really?
a minute, what is this?" And she told me about this grant program.
Oh my gosh, well, that is really good information to know, especially for those that are locals or even visiting. You don't need this big, huge chunk of money to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So what makes your company unique? And there's a few real estate companies out there.
Yeah, there
are. Besides, you're friendly and you're very knowledgeable. We've already seen that.
Thank you.
But tell us a little bit more about the differentiation.
Summit Real Estate is my company, and we've been around for a long time. Summit Real Estate's been around for what are we on? 18 years, and we're very different than the standard real estate company because we work as a team. So it's a small boutique company, and I always say we're small but mighty. We do a ton of business, and we help a lot of families buy places, but we work as a team.
Yeah.
So there's 8 of us, and I always say, you're only a stranger once. Once you come in, you know everybody. You've got, people that are helping you do the different parts of the transaction, and we really specialize, which is a little bit different than most companies where I work mostly with sellers, and I have some buyer specialists that work just with buyers, mostly with buyers. We also have a transaction coordinator, Margaret, who gets the deal done and works with the paperwork. So everyone really gets to specialize on their piece of the puzzle. And we find it works really well.
I think that's a great system. So it's really a team, and you guys are a little bit more boutique. So you have all your specialties within one company, and then you can really cater to the needs of the customers. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So if people want to know more information, how do they find out and get in touch with you?
Well, our phone number, 970-468-6800. Or the website is summitrealestate.com.
Oh, perfect. Well, Allison, it's always such a pleasure. And
yes, Shauna, it's nice to meet you. Really nice to see you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having
me.
It's a real pleasure.
And
in the rain.
Yeah, I know, right? In the rain. We'll be right back on more of Summit Sunrise right after this.